I take, precautions, but I'm not going to live my life, especially here in the United States, in some sort of paranoid frenzy, worried about what's going to happen. I'm not stupid. I keep my radar up, but then you basically have to just get on with your life. I mean, they want to silence you. And so the best way not to be silenced is don't shut up. I mean, there's a, comment in there, for a silenced man, Scott, I can hear you pretty often. Well, that's because you can't silence me. You can deplatform me. I mean, there was a while there, if you watched me on YouTube, you didn't get to watch me on YouTube because YouTube booted me off. They've now allowed me to come back. Other platforms, will, I'm sure at some point in time, be put under pressure to keep voices like myself and others, off. X, former Twitter, is under a lot of pressure. Elon Musk, fortunately, is a free speech, proponent, and he's putting his money where his mouth is, and he's fighting for free speech. And I will continue to do so. I believe you are doing so as well. It is what it is. But you just got to be smart. Look, if it gets to the point where the Banderists and the Zionists have to kill people to win a debate, they already lost the debate. So I'll just keep speaking, and I encourage everybody else to keep speaking too. The greatest weapon to be used in an environment where people are trying to limit speech is more free speech. Just keep speaking. Just keep doing what you're doing, and leave it up to the discerning audience to decide whether or not your voice has any weight, has any relevance, has any merit. That's the ultimate arbiter. If you have to go around and shoot people or deplatform people in order to win a debate, then you've, like I said, you've already lost it. So I'll keep doing what I do, and I encourage other people to keep doing what you do. We can disagree. That's great. Again, I'm not trying to deplatform anybody. I'm not trying to silence anybody. All I'm saying is that there's an alternative point of view out there, sometimes multiple points of view, and they should all be heard so that the average listener, whether you're an American citizen or from anywhere in the world, you get empowered by knowledge and information. That's the most important thing. The most dangerous person in the world is that individual who thinks on their own because they have been empowered with knowledge and information, and they're not reliant upon anybody to tell them how to think, what the facts are. And programs like this help promote an alternative point of view. I don't want to call them alternative facts because there's no such thing as an alternative fact. A fact is a fact. But maybe an emphasis on a fact set that is otherwise overlooked. So again, thanks for having me. And don't worry about my safety. I'm good to go. Now, of course, I'm going to say that, and tomorrow they're going to blow up my car. But whatever. God,
don't say that, Scott. Oh my God. Oh, okay. let's pivot to another question I have. Do you think the information that the IDF, the Israeli government, if we went back a year and a half ago, where Twitter, and I want to zero in just a little bit more on Twitter, or X, formerly known as Twitter, do you think that has helped a lot in debunking what the IDF has to say, and maybe caught their propaganda machine off guard, where now, what used to take, 10 to 20 years to prove people like Colin Powell wrong, can take the matter of an hour with these internet sleuths out there that go on Twitter and say, nope, gotcha, got you at this 1 minute, 47 seconds, 0.03. You had a gun here. Well, at 1.04, now we rewound it, we watched it again, and boom, there's two guns, or something like that. I mean, has that changed the landscape?
Look, it has. I mean, we're dealing with an international community that is linked. It's when you do a podcast like this, it's not just an American audience that's watching. There's a European audience, there's a Chinese audience, there's a Russian audience, there's a Middle Eastern audience, and they're all watching. We're all seeing the same thing, real time, live. And when you have millions of eyeballs, critical eyeballs looking at something, they're going to pick it out. It's, a lie works if you're talking to an ignorant audience and they're not empowered to expose the lie. But the the global audience it's virtually impossible to lie to them because they are empowered with so many different perspectives. So, it's one thing to speak to a limited audience. There are people, let's just be honest. If I pulled, 1,000 people from my community and put them in an auditorium and tried to tap into their collected knowledge of the Middle East, it might be a very limited, limited amount of knowledge. And so they're easily, they're susceptible to being misled by data because they're not in a position to question the data. And if you get somebody who dresses up nicely, speaks properly, and in America, the best thing to do is get somebody with a British accent because they automatically sound intelligent, and you have them speak to them in a calm way, they're going to go, oh, this is good. But you have that same person broadcast this on the internet, and you're going to have people going, that's not right. That's a lie. Now, you also have people calling out a lie when it's not, because there's the opposite. The danger of the internet is there's no filter. And, so we have a lot of people who are doing good stuff on the internet, but we have a lot of people who aren't doing good stuff, meaning that they're deliberately trying to, promote lies by, muddying the water, et cetera. This is where, again, we have to respect the viewer, the customer, the audience on the internet, to be discerning. But we also have to be tolerant of the fact that because we're operating as this wild, wild west of information, that it's going to be rough. It's going to get sloppy. It's not going to be as polished as, CNN or MSNBC or BBC. It's going to be what it is. And but I think it's beautiful. I think what we're seeing here is the empowerment of a global population. And look, what's the first thing that happens when people don't want their audience to think, or their constituencies? They shut down the internet. Shut down the internet, because by doing so, you immediately stop the ability of information to be flowing freely. And sometimes, believe me, there's times when I'm like, man, I just wish they'd shut that channel down. But then I'm thinking there's people who I think the same thing about the things that I say. And again, the best antidote to bad speech is more free speech, is more speech, more speech, more speech. Get as many different points of view out there. No censorship. And it's taken everybody by surprise, especially Israel. Israel is a nation that is accustomed to controlling the media in the United States and in Europe, to control the narrative. They're accustomed to the default mode being support Israel at all costs, automatically condemn those who are opposed to Israel. That's been the default mode for the longest time. And they have, the two big cards they play. You're an anti-Semite. That's the biggest one. The second, you're critical of Israel. It's anti-Semitism. They play that card. And then the other one, of course, is the Holocaust, the sympathy card. The Holocaust did this, that, the other thing. My relatives, this, that, and the other thing. Therefore, you should never question what I'm doing today, because by questioning me, you're somehow shaming the memory of the Holocaust. And they've played those two cards over and over and over again. But right now, what's happening is I think people are recognizing that, first of all, being anti-Zionist doesn't mean you're anti-Jewish at all. And so the notion that anti-Zionism automatically equates to anti-Semitism, it's being pushed back. There's being pushed back by people like me who are saying, no. I'm not anti-Israel. I'm not anti-Jewish. I'm actually pro-Israel, and I'll defend a Jewish population as much as I'll defend any population. I'm an American. Free religion, baby. You come to this country, you should be allowed to practice religion, do whatever you want, free of outside. And if there's people out there saying we're going to take down that synagogue or we're going to do that, no, you won't. I'll be one of the first people standing out there defending a synagogue, defending a Jewish cultural center with my life if necessary, because they're Americans and they deserve that protection. But that's not Zionism. That's Jewish faith, Jewish religion, Jewish culture. Zionism is something completely different. Zionism, especially political Zionism, is about using the Jewish faith in a way to elevate Israel, this Zionist Israel, this biblical Israel, this Eretz Israel, into an modern day version of the Aryan nation of Adolf Hitler. They're talking about we are the supreme